It's 10 o'clock. This is Fox 10 Talks, and some of the pictures that we are getting out of Bisbee show you what they have been dealing with there. If you haven't been to Bisbee, it is in the far southern part of our state. It's actually, I think, only about 15 miles or so north of the U.S.-Mexico border. And we don't talk about them a lot because they are actually quite a ways away from Phoenix, closer to the Tucson TV market. But what we have learned about what was going on there, the headline says that she was swept away. The search was launched soon after a woman was swept away by flash flooding. And the speed of the floodwaters, let me just roll some of this video for you here to show you exactly what we're talking about. Is just, I mean, you look at that and you can see easily how you could slip with water that fast moving. And so it's quite a story. We're also going to be checking in with a well-known business person there in the Bisbee area to talk about what it's been like for the business community there in Bisbee. Also today on FTT, Shannon Bream with our once-a-week visit every Friday. She, of course, is the host of Fox News Sunday, and it looked like this is one of those weeks where the socialist movement has been gaining steam after the voting in Michigan. Also, does where you are born in your birth order, are you baby number one, number two, does that affect your illness risk later in life? Fascinating new study. And then all the latest out of Bisbee as they do try to recover from the flooding. So, Des,
yes,
good morning.
Ron.
I'm going to punch up our two-shot right there.
Here, I'll open. There you go.
Thank
Good morning.
You. Yep, there you go.
Happy Friday,
so many
everyone.
buttons. This has been a busy day for you.
Yeah. We're always busy, right?
I know.
That's the business.
I know, but you're filling in 3 hours for Celeste on the morning show, and
glad
then
to be here with you.
Glad to be here with you as well. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about what we have learned about this flooding situation in Bisbee. Going to share the video for you one more time, and then we're going to be talking here in about a minute or so live with Gretchen Bonaduce. And if you are familiar with Bisbee, you're probably familiar with her, very well-known business person there in that community. But boy, you take a look at how fast those floodwaters, Des, were moving, and I think I saw some hail
there. Yeah, right.
You know, hail is that can be a dangerous situation. And then as we follow up, look at the cleanup work that had to be done in Bisbee. I mean, it's really quite incredible.
Yeah, so the information that we are getting out of Bisbee this morning is that law enforcement will continue their search today looking for that missing woman that was reportedly swept away by flash floods there. And you can see the evidence in the video, you know, how easily something like that can happen. The water just rushing through those streets there throughout the city. So right now we do know that the Cochise County Sheriff's Office says that the woman was crossing the border. She was with a group of other people when they experienced these heavy downpours that led to the flash flooding that we're seeing. And they were able to locate some clothing in the water, and that was similar to what the woman was reportedly wearing. So they did find, you know, some evidence and some clues there, but they will continue that search for her today.
Okay, now we're going to share this video with you as well from La Cornucopia Cafe. If you've ever been to Bisbee, you're familiar with it, I'm sure. And look at these pictures of what they're dealing with and then the cleanup. I mean, it just seems like it's going to be a big, big job. Of course, it's already been underway. Let's bring in our Gretchen Bonaduce, the owner of La Cornucopia. Hello, Gretchen.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm sorry I'm dressed like a pirate this morning, but it is pirate weekend in Bisbee.
Okay.
So that explains the attire.
Yeah, you got to play your role.
Yes.
This is an annual event that now, what's it going to be like for people as they come into Bisbee here? Are there still some streets closed or what's going on?
There are some streets closed, but pretty much they've gotten most of it cleaned up. I see them outside my window right now. They just keep sweeping the streets, and mostly it's been cleaned up, but it was really frightening. I've never seen anything like it. It looked like an alien invasion. I'm not joking. There was lightning flashing literally every second. It was really scary.
And this morning, then, walk us through kind of where your cafe is, and then was that damaged? Walk us through some of what your cafe sustained or the other businesses nearby in the area.
I didn't hear a lot about any permanent damage. There was just a lot of debris. I think the water came up about a foot beneath our building, so another foot in our restaurant would have flooded for sure. So we feel really blessed that that didn't happen. And yeah, I mean, it was just really scary. And
Go ahead.
oh, I just was saying it was completely frightening. And the hail was coming down. The wind was really strong. So we're just fortunate down here that I don't think there's any real permanent damage. And so if you're going to come down here this weekend for Pirate Weekend, you should be fine. I think the streets are pretty much cleared, and hotels are open, and we hope to have you come down.
Okay, so let's roll. I'm going to roll this video here once more from, you took these pictures, right, of what was going on right outside where you are?
Actually, I didn't take them. One of my business associates did.
Oh, yeah.
But that is
Okay.
right where my business, the Cornucopia Cafe, is there on the left. And if you look right into the Gulf, so we're right where all the water was rushing out. So my business partner and I, you know, we're just keeping an eye on it, and we were just so thankful it didn't come up another foot.
Right. So you were in the, what time did it actually hit? And you said it was very sudden.
Around 9 o'clock, between 9 and 10, I started noticing this really strange lightning. And then the wind got super strong. And then this pelting rain came down, and then hail. And I was a little worried that our windows were going to break. But, you know, we really were so fortunate that none of that happened.
Okay, tell us a little bit more about your time in Bisbee. By the way, if anybody's wondering, you do have a famous last name. You
I
were
do.
married before he passed to the one and only Danny Bonaduce.
Yes. Did you say he passed?
Oh, no. Well, I mean, passed in regards to he has since moved on to a lot of other things in his career. But go ahead.
I was like, oh, that'd be news to me.
Yeah.
Yes, I was married to Danny for 18 years. We have two beautiful kids. One lives in Europe, one lives in Denver. He has since retired. But yeah, we had a great life together, 18 years. You know, I call that 100 Hollywood years, really.
But how did you end up in Bisbee?
I fell in love with a house. I Googled mansions for sale when I was living in LA because I just wanted to leave and I wanted to see what was out there in the world. And this amazing mansion in Bisbee came up, and it was very affordable. And so it was a love story. I fell in love with the house, and that's what brought me here.
Oh,
That
wow.
is so
And
great.
I'm curious. I want to know more about your cafe. You know, what's the environment like? What are you guys serving?
Oh, I would love to tell you. We just moved about 5 months ago to a new location. We went from 25 seats to 100. So it's been a little bit overwhelming, and now we have outdoor seating. So we're really excited about that. This weekend, we're starting to do French breakfast. Yeah, French breakfast is a quiche and salad. And so we're going to be doing that on Saturdays and Sundays. We have enormous mimosas and Bloody Marys. And next month, we're going to start doing fondue at night on Fridays and Saturdays.
That's
So we've
fancy.
I
kind
like
of
the
rolling
sounds
it
of
out,
that.
as we can. But all our food is homemade sandwiches, soups, pies. Forbes magazine voted us the best meatloaf sandwich. So we have really great food. It's pretty good.
It is a story of resilience for sure after everything you guys have been through this week. Thanks so much, Gretchen.
Thank you for having me, guys. And come down. I'd like to buy you guys lunch.
There you go.
Oh, thank you. I would love that. You had me at
Cornucopia
fondue.
Cafe.
I'll see you there on Friday.
Okay, see you then.
Hey, on to our next story now. This video coming in now. It wasn't. There was no kind of aftermath of what happened here. It all went smoothly, but this is what happened in the overnight hours out in Thompson, and it just shows you how police can work together. They are facing what potentially, see how the one officer was stationed behind the vehicle, shows you the precautions that they take right before midnight. It was part of an ongoing investigation, and we're told there were no outstanding suspects. But it's one more reminder, Des, of the work the police have to do. It's midnight. They're approaching that building. They haven't revealed the extent of this investigation, but they took the threat seriously enough. Looks like about half a dozen of them actually converged on that area.
Absolutely. Yeah. All we know right now is that the call came out as a stabbing. So, of course, we were trying to work on that and gather some more information about what unfolded there. But, that was, a heavy police presence for that Thompson neighborhood last night.
So we say thank you to our local police officers here in the Valley trying to keep their various communities safe. We also say thank you to the DPS. They are called upon in so many different situations. If you haven't seen this video, I'm going to just roll here this VO right here. Do you see it on, this should be 1.6, the base jumping rescue. Okay. Well, we'll look for that, and you guys let me know if you do locate it. But so they were called upon. Des, there was a base jumper that was out there in that area who his parachute got stuck on a rock outcropping, and he's on the other side. It's awkward, and there's no way for him to get down.
Exactly. And I want to know more. Hopefully, it'd be nice if we can reach out and try to find who he is. But I wonder where his cell phone was located, that he was able to still get to that and make the call himself, or did he, how he was able to communicate with whoever it was that he contacted that, hey, I'm stranded up here and I need help.
Yeah.
Base jumping is like, so there's a lot that I would do.
Would you call that the most extreme sport there is?
At least one of them. It's got to be on the list. It just seems so, it's so terrifying. It's so adventurous. But yeah, I mean, in this case, his chute got caught on the rocks there, and he was in a really tough predicament. Just couldn't get down.
I like to go only so far as hiking in the supers. I've never base jumped or hang glided or any of that. Right there.
Right
there are some incredible hikes, that's for sure. Okay, so here's what we've got coming up. It was high drama in D.C. this morning to find out whether or not the Attorney General was going to get the votes he needed, the nominee. We'll have that, plus a preview of the Mystery Cam. All right, everybody, we have located that video from the DPS. Look at the thumbs up. Ready? Here we go. Yep, thumbs up. He's on the skids, as they call it, hovering right above the rescue area. The DPS, they've got this rescue chopper, but look at how difficult this terrain is, Des. It's spectacular. I mean, it's right on the edge of a metro area of 5 million people. It's some of the most popular hiking, I think, anywhere in the West. The superstitions are incredible, but watch this has got to be so dangerous because, they're getting right there, right on the edge of the rocks. And in a moment here, you're going to, I think you might have seen the parachute itself, and see how he was caught on the other side.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is so terrifying. I mean, just from above, you can see how treacherous that area is. And I mean, the officials that respond to situations like this, it's just impressive, right?
Oh, yeah.
To have the chopper remaining steady there as someone rappels down to rescue that individual, just incredible. Yeah. Glad this had a happy ending.
Yeah, speaking of rescues, coming up a little later this morning here on FTT, where we just have this streaming show, the new videos come in, we share it with you. You're going to hear about another rescue involving a kind of world-famous animator who grew up here in the Valley and had to be rescued, Glenn Keane, how he thanked the firefighters who rescued him just a few days ago at the beginning of the week. It's a really great story. Okay, so on we go here. We did get word this morning that very quietly, apparently, Mitch McConnell got himself released from the hospital. Surely he was feeling the pressure. And you don't know the behind-the-scenes conversation. You don't know if John Thune or even the president or somebody said, look, Mitch, you've got to prove you're alive, and you got to be kind of moving on. These, one photo a week is just not going to cut it. So he got released from the rehab center, and now he's going to continue his recovery at home.
So we're just seeing some photos there that were obviously released earlier. So, I mean, his term is almost over. It ends in January. Yeah. And, it's not hard to believe that he, wants to finish it out. But, yeah, there were some, the calls were getting pretty loud there for proof of life. Yeah. Well, kind of throughout this ordeal.
Yeah. One of the interesting things about it all is that because he's not there right now, talk about a high-profile, kind of tense moment this morning, because that means there are only 99 senators right now that are actually in D.C. doing their jobs. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm sure he's doing stuff, in phone calls, et cetera, but he couldn't be there for the vote on whether Todd Blanche would be the next attorney general or not. Mm-hmm. And so it all came down to Susan Collins, who's running for re-election in Maine. She's going to vote against him. Lisa Murkowski, senator from Alaska, she's going to vote against him. So it all came down to one guy, Bill Cassidy, longtime senator from Louisiana. Mm-hmm. He stepped up to the microphone, and here's what he said.
But the choice is not between perfection and Mr. Blanche. It is between Mr. Blanche and another acting attorney general who may not run the department effectively under President Trump and who indeed may not be as good as Mr. Blanche. This puts at risk the progress made fighting violent crime, human and drug trafficking, and fraud. And this does not serve the American people well. This is not a referendum on President Trump. It is a decision regarding Mr. Blanche in very specific circumstances. All considered, I will vote for Mr. Blanche. I'll be criticized for this vote. What's new? But people of Louisiana can be assured that I worked hard to understand the issue and to make the right decision. With that, I yield.
Yeah, you could tell at that point. I've never seen that out of him. A lot of these senators, it's they're almost like kind of like living statues. You don't get a lot of emotion out of them. But here's a man who lost his job in the primary in Louisiana, as a result of a lot of friction with the president over the last few years. And you can tell that he is, what I read in this, Des, he's pretty emotional that he's lost his job and he's within a few months here he's not going to be a senator anymore.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering where that emotion was coming from.
Yeah.
Because it was a difficult decision to make, or because he's, on his way out here.
Right, yeah. Okay, so when that happened, it therefore led to, it's Chad Pergram, who is, to me, like one of the all-time great reporters with Fox on Capitol Hill. Mm-hmm. And he came out right after that and he said, I got the math on this. There's no Mitch McConnell, 99 votes. There's 50 as a yes and 49 as a no. That's how close it was.
Yeah, 1 vote difference.
So let's do this. Our poll question says, Todd Blanche has the votes to become AG. What should he focus on? 18% say standing up to Trump, be independent. 79% say no, focus on the president's priorities like election integrity and immigration enforcement. 3% feel he's got to do a lot more on the Jeffrey Epstein case.
And then here on YouTube, we have 638 votes in the poll question this morning so far. 29% of folks say they want Blanche to stand up to Trump, be independent. 48% say no, they should focus on Trump's priorities, election integrity, immigration enforcement. And 22% say do a lot more on the Jeffrey Epstein case.
Dave's been a busy guy today, but have you had a chance to see some comments?
Oh,
oops.
That's weird.
Whoa. Is that truly the Dave cam?
I don't know.
A couple of our buttons this week have been a little unusual, I'll just say.
It's really funny.
Oh, this is good. Although I love the behind the scenes.
That's funny.
No, that's all.
Rotation. It's close.
A little closer.
It's close.
Hey.
There we
Look
go.
at that.
Great.
That's when Ada moves
Great
the camera
camera
around
work,
to
Neil.
see a crash or a wreck or
Well,
something.
You're just
we
checking on the
love hearing
wires.
your comments on fox10phoenix.com/poll as well as on YouTube. Sam in Valley on YouTube says doing more on the Epstein case would be standing up to Trump. And then Lolly1405 says focus on prosecuting corruption and corrupt politicians wherever they may be found. And finally, Mike Klinger 1712 says, I voted for a secure border and secure elections. Really interesting comments. We love hearing from you guys. Keep it up.
Going to keep it in politics. Here's Shannon Bream. Here's Shannon Bream, the host of Fox News Sunday. Hi, Shannon.
Hey, Ron.
Let's go to Michigan.
Okay. So they had a big Senate showdown primary this week, and it was the progressive who came out on top. Dr. Abdul Al-Sayed is the one who, listen, it predicted a much bigger victory, but did win over the current sitting congressman viewed as more center-left, Haley Stevens. And so the question becomes, how does that race shape up? Is it the far-left progressive part of the party that's actually the ones calling the shots? Everybody watching this race now.
I think we actually have the winner of the primary this week. Let's roll that.
All you got to do is look at the ads you're already watching on TV, started today. They think that you want to use my whole name against me. Mike, listen, man, if you can't say the name, it's Abdurrahman, keep the name out your damn mouth.
All right, so President Trump says it's great for Republicans that Abdul El-Sayed won the primary, but is it? I mean, here's a guy who faced a barrage of spending against him and came out the winner. Mm-hmm. He seems pretty charismatic, maybe more than the Republican in the race, but can the far left, the socialist part of the party, convince voters that candidates like El-Sayed have the answers to their economic worries?
That is the critical question. Now, he's had a message that's been very disciplined. He says, money out of politics, money in your pocket, Medicare for all. He says it enough that when he says it in front of crowds now, they answer him or they can finish the line. So he's been very disciplined in that messaging. And our most recent Fox News polling shows when you ask people what kind of change would they like to see to the current government structure, nearly 80% of them came in at either substantial, dramatic, or revolutionary. So people want change. They don't feel good. I mean, the jobs report was abysmal this morning. And so this message that the establishment isn't getting it done for you, the White House isn't getting it done for you, it really resonated well for El-Sayed. And so it may in the general as well.
Okay, so let's talk about within the party and the pushback going on. New York Times headline yesterday. Moderate Democrats prepare for war against an ascendant left. How big is this split within the party, really, and will it result in the push out of some kind of party elders, I guess you could say, Chuck Schumer and others?
Yeah, it's possible because El Sayed says that Chuck Schumer doesn't want him to win and come to Washington because he's going to be so tough to govern. Listen, this party split has been going on since Bernie Sanders, and we all know back, thinking about to the conventions of 2015, 2016, and how he felt he was treated by the DNC, and some of the information that leaked out about trying to box out this part of the party. They haven't gone away. They've strengthened since then, and they're very much feeling their oats, as you would say. You heard the level of confidence there with El Sayed. They feel very cocky about their ability to win, not only in these primaries, but to really upend what Democrats are doing to make them talk about things differently and to, they believe, win in the general elections as well. So it's very much an inter-party turmoil there when you got folks like Van Jones and James Carville saying, these people do not represent us and the party needs to weed them out.
Shannon, I know you love sports just like I do. I actually get to ask you a sports-related question.
Uh-oh, I hope I'm ready.
I think it's the Protect College Sports Act is what it's called. Tell us a little bit. It sounds like maybe something happened last night that could, for people who don't know about it, you've got a situation where some players literally leave that college every year in hopes of maybe getting a little bit more money somewhere else. We've kind of put an end to that practice. Where do things stand?
Yeah, it would limit a lot of what's gone on with NIL and the portal, but there are plenty of opponents. It's got a ton of bipartisan support. The president says he wants it to get to his desk to sign it, but there are a number of women's groups coming out now who fear that there's language that inadvertently is actually going to hurt them when it comes to Title IX. So there's some last-minute pushback for folks who say this bill is not ready for prime time. So we'll see if it gets across the finish line, but boy, does the Senate have a giant to-do list for moving things today before they're supposed to leave for a month or so. So I don't know if it gets to the top of the list with, the Blanche nomination and so many other things there.
Well, all right, there you go with Shannon. And Des, can you believe it? It's already time for the mystery camp.
Yeah, let's roll it, right?
Okay, let's do it.
Here's a look. We want you to get your guesses in here, you guys.
Yeah,
where do you think it is?
Get your guesses in before it rains.
Uh-oh, is that a clue?
Who knows? I'll ask Crystal. All right, everybody, welcome back. It's Mystery Cam time, and we are looking for your guesses, and they're coming in, Des.
Yes, they are. So let's take a look in the chat here and see what you guys think about the Mystery Cam today. So I'm seeing the first guess out from Outlaw Dynamo, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
That's a great guess. Or Louis Gonzalez says, I think it might be Arkansas. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Thomas is, by the way, Deborah says, if you look at it, it almost feels like Flagstaff. But Thomas is like, I miss Puerto Rico. I don't know if that's your guess, but you're locked in now, Thomas. Thomas has the most.
No changing of your answer.
Okay, so what are you going to go with, Des? Are you going to go with Pennsylvania?
You know what? Sure.
Okay.
I'll go with that.
I think I'm going to go with Tennessee.
Tennessee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of your former states. I know you love Tennessee, but here we go. She's got the answer.
Oh, it is Meadville, Pennsylvania.
Oh, is that right? Mm-hmm. Okay, let's go back and take
Good job,
a
Outlaw.
look at it there.
Yeah.
There's Meadville, everybody.
Like a quiet little day there.
It sure is.
Not much traffic on the main street there.
That's just what I was thinking. I'm like, I love a nice little old-fashioned downtown, but we need to see a few more shoppers. Maybe everybody's inside the restaurants having lunch since it's 1:30 in the afternoon back there. Okay, so we are going to continue on. We've been having a lot of high-profile guests from the political realm over the last, really even leading up to the primaries. So we've had the governor on, and her challenger, Andy Biggs, was just on the other day. We've had several others. And now we have Dr. Zuhdi Jasser, a prominent physician here in town. What's your specialty, by the way?
Internal medicine, primary care.
Say that again?
Internal medicine, primary care.
Yeah. Okay. And now you're the Republican candidate taking on Greg Stanton.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What happened? I always like to know if there's a light bulb moment, or just kind of slowly but surely it dawned on you that you need to represent that district in Congress, or was there a moment where you're like, I need to do this?
Well, listen, I've been in primary care taking care of families here in the district for over 27 years. And, you get to know the families from different generations. And I feel their pain. I know their pain, whether it's related to affordability, not only paying for their homes and the American dream, but also as the son of immigrants. I've seen my own family. I was blessed to be born free in Wisconsin and came down here after serving in the Navy for 11 years. I was a Navy doc operationally for 3 years on the USS El Paso in Operation Restore Hope, and then was a physician to Congress and the U.S. Supreme Court. Then my parents came to Arizona, joined them here, and after 9/11, our country changed. I was basically, as a immigrant from the Middle East, my family's immigrants, realized that the conflicts there chased us here, and I felt an obligation to serve, and I've been a person of service my whole life. And understood the need to push back against big Islam, if you will, big healthcare, and saw what happened to my profession during COVID, where things were just, businesses were shut down, decisions were made for families. My wife and I saw our 3 kids stay at home in high school for no reason. They were not affected by COVID. So here we have a district where the current representative, Greg Stanton, really has not held a real job for over 20 years. He's been in the office for quite a while. He's a D.C. creature versus understanding the families. And a light bulb goes off with me a couple of years ago in which I said, I'm not in politics. I'm not a politician. But we need someone who understands the pain of families. And we need someone who's not a D.C. creature in Washington who is going to listen to our community.
You don't think Greg Stanton gets that, though?
I don't. Absolutely not. He had a socialist run against him in the primary and not once made a statement about the radicalization in his own party. Not once stood up for small businesses and free markets and prosecuted and made the case against socialism. He just sort of gets along by getting along. I've talked to people in the district. Not one can tell me what they've done other than maybe transactionally for bringing tax money home, but he voted against tax-free Social Security, voted against, stopping taxes on tips and on overtime. Why would he vote against that? He let the border stay wide open with crime and drugs coming into our district, into our state, for the entire Biden administration, and did nothing with that.
So as a physician, I mean, your daily work obviously puts you in contact with a lot of people and people in your district. So what are you hearing from them, specifically in District 4, that they are most concerned about, that when you come into office, you will make the best effort to address?
Thank you for that, Desiree. And I'll tell you, the most important thing to me is, I'm an independent voice. I don't check the registration of my patients before I see them. And I've got support from families from the left to the right who say, we trust you as a doctor. Right now in my clinic, I'm seeing folks that are exhausted, dehydrated, and I remind them about how to deal with the heat and that what diseases and afflictions can affect them. And my greatest asset going to Congress is I build coalitions caring for every patient. Build specialist coalitions that treat their disease, and we don't look at our politics. And that's what we need in Congress. Greg Stanton is a creature of the Democratic Party. He's never stood up to Schumer. He claims to not be a socialist, but yet never makes the argument. You see the radicals in Michigan, for example, Abdul Sayed taking the party apparatus. And, the families that I talk to want a representative that's going to not only keep our district safe, but Arizona safe, but remember what it is to be an American. And I'm the son of immigrants. I'm blessed to have been born here. My parents escaped dictatorship in the Middle East, and I served in the Navy. So my patients want people who've served the community, understand how difficult it is to make ends meet. And I'm looking to do significant reforms in healthcare so that we can make this economy work better. Because the most unaffordable thing right now is health insurance, premiums. And that's going through the roof because of the consolidation in healthcare. And Greg Stanton's done nothing to address that.
You said you want to be able to push back against big Islam. I'm sure you believe in a multicultural society. So what are you talking about there?
Yeah, so my work since 9/11, I've founded the American Islamic Forum for Democracy, and I've debated from Oxford to Phoenix about why my faith that I love, the best place that I can practice it is not in a Muslim majority country, it's here in America, because this country was founded on fighting theocracy, on giving religious freedom, that first liberty. And bottom line is that we've not gone through that, and being Muslim has become an identity. The DEI movement on the far left has basically had this bigotry of low expectations when it comes to Muslims. And you see radicals like Abdul Sayed in Michigan come to prominence as socialists that don't really represent Americans, but it's almost from an apologetic standpoint that they rise up. So my faith, being one of pushing back against organized Islamic theocracy, like the 80 million Iranians that don't want the terror regime, like the millions that don't want the Muslim Brotherhood, that is the message that I can prosecute on day one, to marginalize the Ilhan Omars, Rashida Tlaibs, and others that Greg Stanton has allowed to take the megaphone. Right now, his party is looking at AOC as a presidential candidate, which is arm in arm with Ilhan Omar. That's not the America I know. He voted for men and women's sports. That's not the America I know. The vast majority of Americans want independent voices that are rational and ethical.
And yet, he has the power of incumbency, which, I guess if it's a close call, if a voter goes into the voting booth, they take a look and say, well, that person, whoever it might be in whatever job, maybe they don't have a reason to vote against them, so they vote for them. In your district, how do you fight back against that? Because it would seem as though the power of incumbency would be a big advantage for him.
Absolutely, and this is, I think, the biggest obstacle in the reality that I'm trying to educate our voters about, is that this district is new since 21. The precincts in this district have voted for Republicans in statewide races, for Ducey, for Kimberly Yee. If you look at the current precincts, it added Mesa, a majority of Mesa. It includes Northwest Chandler, Tempe, all of Tempe, and Ahwatukee, Phoenix. So if you look at the numbers, it's a small district size-wise, but the 850,000 members of this district are a very independent voice, but there's more Republican registrations than Democrat, with Republicans increasing. So I tell, if you abandon the media narrative, the Cook report puts out numbers based on what they see statistically, and the polls are often wrong, and it is wrong until the voters decide another way, and all of a sudden it becomes a swing district. So the voters now have a real choice. There's only been one other candidate that's run against Stanton in the current makeup of this district. So the district is in play. And if you look at what happened on the Democratic Party and the far left, they put districts in play for the Democrats that weren't before. So why can't we do the same to bring back a voice that I can hit the ground running in Congress to prosecute the case against the things that are ripping our country apart, whether it's, the economy, health insurance premiums that are unaffordable, national security, the conflict in the Middle East. These are things that I've been arguing globally and building coalitions of gay rights activists, women's rights activists across the country, across the world. And Greg Stanton has nothing to show for his 4 terms in Congress.
And do you think you're doing enough to win over the independents in your district? Because, they're a big part of, your district as well.
Absolutely. I tell people to go to our website at Z4AZ4AZ.com and see the message about small businesses, about rational governance, about giving people a voice. I'm a phone call away. Talk to my patients. I've had supporters from the Basha family all the way to, conservatives on the right that have been very active in helping me, and folks that might not agree with me on every issue, but really see the fact that we need America as a meritocracy. So why put somebody in office that just sort of plants himself there and gets a light rail station named after him but doesn't do anything else? That's absurd. Just because he was a mayor of Phoenix, let's bring in somebody new who's seen the pain of our families, that can actually prosecute the case for our country and bring us together rather than simply fill a space as an empty suit.
Well, I am sure that we have reached out to him. I'm sure Dave has. Hopefully he'll come on. And we'll hear from him as well. Yeah. Shapes up like it's going to be a very interesting race.
Absolutely. Dr. Jasser, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Your time today.
And it is time for a break right now, Des. So we've moved on from the mystery camp.
Oh, yeah.
From Pennsylvania. I don't know.
Nice lush look at whatever city this is.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, and so with that break, we'll be right back here on AZAM. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Ron and Des hanging out with you till 11. Then it is Ty and Anita. And then it's you and me again. Did you know that? We're coming back at 11:30.
I knew.
By popular
sorry. I didn't realize
demand.
we were on camera. I thought I was looking at the chat. I thought we were still on the camera.
No, that's great.
Yes, and then we're back again.
So, speaking of...
I was making sure you guys didn't have any questions for him, but it didn't look like you did. So.
Okay. Speaking of political names, Arizona's two senators, Mark Kelly and Ruben Gallego, have written a letter to the FAA raising concerns about some of the latest plans that might be in the work to modernize flight patterns in and out of Sky Harbor Airport and other airports around the valley. Yeah. So they did. We told you the other day, the FAA said, all right, we're going to postpone this thing, I think, for another year until they make a decision. Now, the interesting thing to me, Des, is because I live out there in the East Valley, the Phoenix Mesa Gateway Airport is getting busier all the time. But if you go to Flight Radar, sometimes you watch these planes take off. Is this not the wildest pattern? So they take off to the northwest, immediately do a 180 over the Santan Freeway, and basically do a complete 360 like a corkscrew over the top or near the top of the airport, and then continue on their way. They were going, I'm looking over here, PVU, so they were flying from here to Provo. They can't just fly out that way. They got to do this corkscrew thing. Or other times they'll go kind of off in the desert. They'll just do a 180 over a lot of neighborhoods out there in Mesa, and then kind of down toward Queen Creek, and then they'll turn it back around, do another 180. So what has happened, I think,
So are they like going clockwise here when we're looking at this?
Yes.
Starting at the airport?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's interesting. It's like, why?
They have to consider Gateway Airport. I know they're mostly looking at Sky Harbor, but Gateway's just getting busier every year, and it's having an impact, I think, on a lot of neighbors.
And I mean, Senators Kelly and Gallego mentioned that, the number one concern is the noise that people in the neighborhood would be exposed to. So we'll see. Yeah, it's on hold for now.
Yep. One of our favorite stories today, I'm saying our because I haven't even asked you yet, Des, but we did discuss this story on the air. I think it's fantastic.
Yes.
What's going to happen to the folks who were working at Salad and Go with all their locations across the valley?
Well, they might have a new job in Angie's.
Let's hear about it.
So if you're unfamiliar, a little bit of the backstory is there's a husband and wife duo, the Christofelises. They started Salad and Go in Gilbert years ago. They end up selling the company expands, and then the husband and wife duo then create Angie's. And, they've been Angie's Lobster, they've been Angie's Prime Grill, which is what they now are. And now this husband and wife team from Angie's says, hey, we will hire as many, folks from Salad and Go as we can. So they hope to take on some new employees here, and they plan to expand Angie's as well. So they're going to need the bigger staff and folks to staff some of these new locations. They want to expand production and their warehouse team as well. So they're looking at a hiring, and they do say that the starting pay will increase compared to what they were making at Salad and Go.
One sort of primary rule in the business world is if you want to be a success, you got to be there every day. And these guys were a startup from out in the East Valley, and they ran it with their own blood, sweat, and tears for years and got it to this place. Then sold the balance of it to the new owners, who I believe that company is headquartered in New York. And so they have proven that they can be a success, and they got the formula figured out, and they know the valley, they know the East Valley, they know the whole valley really well. So I gotta believe they're gonna be a success with Angie's now.
Yeah, I would hope so. Have you ever had Angie's?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
what's
good.
Funny is there is a Salad and Go almost right next to an Angie's, only separated by a Sombreros, love them too, out there at Signal Butte and Guadalupe in East Mesa. That's kind of my neck of the woods.
Yeah, so. It is funny. A lot of the Angie's did go in locations close to Salad and Go. Same thing for everyone, like kind of in the East Valley near us too, Gilbert.
Hey, I am happy to announce, Desiree, that we have, I think it's one of your favorite segments. I'm just going to look over my notes here.
Which one?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for you and me and Des to Learn new things. Okay,
Yes.
there we are in the
love this.
laboratory, trying to learn new things. Me with my beaker, and you with your little scientific iPad there.
Yeah.
You have 2 microscopes.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Looks smart.
Well, so we do this because we want to, have a chance to kind of share with you some new info. So it was on this day, Des, I cannot believe it was this long ago, on August the 7th, 1988, that one of the all-time greats in the world of track and field, Florence Griffith Joyner, set a world record of 10.49 seconds in the 100-meter dash. I don't know how long you think it would, and you're in great shape, it would take you to run 100 meters, not 100 yards. So it's like longer than a football field. She did it in about 10 seconds. It's incredible to even contemplate.
That's fast.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
But here's the thing that I think is really cool. So I'm doing the research on it, and it said, hey, you might be interested. It didn't happen on August 7th. But speaking of world records, there was one person, I don't know, I don't believe this record will ever be broken. But maybe the greatest athlete to ever live, a guy named Jesse Owens, in one day, May 25th, 1935, set 5 world records in about 1 hour, which in itself has got to be a world record, right?
I would think so.
Okay, so the story goes that he was at the Big Ten Championships in Michigan at Ann Arbor.
Look at him go.
And he was running with a back injury, and yet he tied the world record for the 100-yard dash. He set a new world record for the long jump, which was 26 and a half feet. Look at him.
Wow.
He's flying. It's incredible. What an athlete. So I think I did the long jump when I was like in junior high. I don't know. I think I jumped like 6 feet.
I did the long jump too. I don't know why. I'm
what were
short
your
as
numbers?
heck. It's not like I had great hops either.
Okay.
I don't know.
What were your...
I didn't set records.
No, I know, but I bet you beat me. So, yeah, Des works out constantly. I work out like twice a week.
I also did the triple jump too. I love that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that little, little hop in there before you can,
Well, yeah. So, I mean, Jesse Owens, we salute him again. And, we probably don't talk about some of our historical figures enough. There he is as a young man. And
wow.
That was 1935. And the next thing you know, it's the 1936 Olympics. And and it's right in the middle of Berlin. During the, when Hitler and the Nazis were trying to rise to power. And Jesse Owens, was the superstar of the 1936 Olympics.
Wow.
You could call it the Jesse Owens Olympics. So, Des, I think you're going to find this kind of cool. I'm there on vacation several years ago, and I said to Renee, I want to go see the stadium. The Olympic Stadium still stands to this day.
Oh, cool.
And I walked in there with like a sense of reverence for Jesse Owens because of everything he accomplished. Now you can tell they've put a roof on it and they have a fancier track now and all the rest. But ooh,
did you get the chills being in there?
I really kind of did. Yeah. And you know what's interesting is, see how there's nobody around, and so how did I get in there? Very cleverly. They use it now for soccer. And a game had just finished, and they were so busy with people coming out all of the exit gates.
Did you sneak in?
I just walked in. It wasn't a sneak. I'm just walking, with good posture and looking around like I belong. And I'm like, Renee, get a couple of pictures of me, of the famous.
If you just look like you know where you're going, no one will ask.
And yet I'm wearing the Brazil colors. Well, I'm representing the Huskies. You can see that on the shirt. My son was on a mission at the time in Brazil. So I really took that picture for him because we walked in the stadium and they were selling. Brazil must have had, I don't know, a team up there recently or something. They were selling, it's an international story. They were selling all this Brazil paraphernalia.
How cool.
Anyway, okay, before we wrap up, a couple of more stories to share with you. This was actually from yesterday, Des, but the pictures are so incredible. You have to watch quickly. There's been an accident. Watch what happens right here.
Oof, my goodness.
Okay, we're going to show it to you a little bit closer, but the guy in the car that was disabled is all the way over by the wall, and look at how close that other driver, he does completely plow into his vehicle, but he jumps out of the way in the nick of time, And I mean, this was, his very life was in danger. It just was incredible, this video, to see what was happening. Somehow, and I watched it on a loop many times. I'm trying to figure out how that one driver missed the whole situation. Somehow, I think he thought he could go around to the left, that the other guy was braking too fast.
I don't know. I mean, right? I need to watch it back again. I've seen it a couple times too. Look at that, though. And I'm just assuming, I guess we don't know the whole story, but it looked like he was trying to pass that truck in front of him.
On the other side.
Yeah.
I think
it looked like he was being a little impatient because that truck sees the vehicle, starts to slow down, and it looks like, you know what, I'm a little frustrated. I'm going to go around.
Yep.
And look at that.
Oh, my gosh.
Again, just a good reminder, be patient and always be vigilant. Like, you have to be looking out your front, your side mirrors, your back. You have to be aware at all times.
And it happened in Ohio.
That guy is so lucky to be alive.
Yeah, he is. Okay, one last one. Ready? Here we go. What happens when a bear is introduced to one of America's most popular candy items? Well, you're looking at it right here.
Like, what else would he try to do?
First of all, I didn't even know that Jelly Belly had their own dispensing machines.
In this town, they do. I know. Let's get those everywhere.
Right? Okay, I want that franchise for Phoenix. But this is hilarious. So this is at a shopping center in Tennessee. The bear appeared to be unbothered by the crowd. In fact, the crowd kind of gathered around. You can tell it's a rainy day, wet pavement, and just sort of stood. You got to stand far enough away. I don't know if I'd even get this close, for goodness sakes.
And it's like, what do you think it is that caught his attention? Like the machine being so bright in colors,
Maybe.
Or can the bear smell the Jelly Bellies inside?
Well, they are pretty tasty.
Good.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's sampled them once before. He's like, there.
Maybe.
Those
He's
are
like,
the
oh wait,
things I love.
I know that logo.
All right, we got to wrap it up.
Can he see the colors? Are bears colorblind?
Yeah. Ooh, that's a question.
Questions.
Ooh, we're going to call Game
That's
and Fish.
the next Learn Something new segment.
For sure. Okay, here they come. Ty and Anita next.
Hey everyone, welcome in. Very busy Friday because we have some breaking news right off the top at Fox 10 Talks at 11 o'clock. We're going to take you right out to the Senate floor, Washington, D.C., where the Senate has passed a sweeping Russia sanctions bill that was actually negotiated by late Senator Lindsey Graham.
All right, so this just passed about 10 to 15 minutes ago, so this is just kind of what we're seeing on the Senate floor right now. After that was passed, you see some of those lawmakers still kind of hanging about. Mm-hmm. Twiddling their thumbs.
Is that what they do?
That feels like it, right?
Is that what they do? They passed it 86-11, and it's going to penalize countries that continue to buy Russian oil, gas, and other exports, seeking to deprive Putin of revenues fueling the war. And so pretty interesting there that it passed as it did. And we'll keep you guys posted.
All right, let's take a look at our top 3 stories that are right now on fox10phoenix.com. This is what you're reading. And the first one is this story. Bound with a ball gag and dumped in the desert, a 17-year-old walks to Phoenix Chipotle to get help. And we've got 2 individuals that are now in custody charged with that crime.
Wow, that is terrifying. Our next one, death row murder. Arizona prosecutors seeking the death penalty a second time for at least 2 inmates. So the brief is right there. We'll keep you guys posted as well.
And then number 3, most clicked on story here on this Friday morning. Friends remember a Gilbert stabbing victim, Delaney Bristow, as profoundly kind. So this is kind of a story going into her life and legacy that she left
You
behind.
can catch all those stories and more on our website.
Oh. That is an extreme close-up that nobody wants to see.
I like
Yikes.
that.
Wow.
I like that for you.
That's a jump scare.
It's a good thing you shaved. It's a good thing you shaved this
right
morning.
up my nostrils. You need to wax
And
those
you blew-
nostrils out. Good Lord. All right. Sorry about that.
I guess at this point we
Every
introduce
time
our
we have
next.
poor Trevor come on, this show is off
Wait,
the rails.
no, look at what happened last time, Trevor.
You jumped the gun on
the buttons. Yeah.
showing a quiz
Let
answer.
me wait a second. Hold on. I want to make something clear. We did not jump the gun.
Yeah. The gun was jumped.
We have absolute zero control over what is behind the button. We just get to press
Push
the button.
and
Okay?
we have no idea it's always a
It's
roll
all,
of the dice.
It is. It's always a surprise. Just like the camera shots. See,
Yeah,
like sometimes
yeah.
you bring it up and I don't know, you get the inside of Ty's nose.
There you go. You're welcome. All right, so Trevor, you are the CEO of Halpern Residential at EXP Realty, and we're talking about people using artificial intelligence. Now,
Yep.
are we saying this is a good thing or a bad thing, or does it just depend?
I was going to say both. Yeah.
Okay.
So it depends. It depends on how it's used. It depends on how it's queried. It depends on what it's used for. It depends on your reliance thereof on it. Because sometimes you can over rely on it and it's actually giving you false positives or false information.
So what are we talking about, though? Because can I talk about a pet peeve that I have? I love Zillow. I love
Me
to look
too.
on Zillow. I love to house hunt.
Yep.
Way above my budget, obviously, just because it's fun to dream.
Yeah.
There are so many listings that these real estate agents are using AI to like stage it. I hate that.
What do you mean?
It's like not real pictures. They're putting it the real photo and then they
I haven't
change
been
the
on
floors,
Zillow. I
the
haven't been
walls.
looking for
Yes.
houses for a while,
Yeah.
so.
And I think that's so misleading.
Yeah, well, it's very interesting because it's getting harder and harder to determine whether that is
Yes.
AI or not.
Yeah.
And so what I find, like, let's say I'm a listing agent and I have a client that says, well, I don't want to stage it with furniture. Will you virtually stage it? My answer typically to that is no, because it creates a disconnect. We're going to lure these buyers in. They're going to open the door and it's going to look different than what they expected.
Well, it's kind of false advertising, is it not?
It is, right? And so there right now in our MLS there are no regulations against it. It is Wild West. It's the classic regulatory body catching up to what is happening in technology, right? In California, I believe there are some rules coming in with AI alteration of photos. California tends to be on the forefront of regulation with that sort of stuff. So we may see some stuff trickle down, but right now it's Wild West. We can do whatever we want.
There's some of them that will do say like virtually staged, but a
Yes.
lot of these you have to like actually hunt to be like, is this a real photo
Yeah.
of this house or not?
Yeah, it's getting better and better. So it is kind of a buyer beware. And also it's like if I have a client send me something, go, what do you think of this home? The first thing I do is flip through and go, man, this is not accurate to what we're going to see.
The statistic is really interesting. 53% of Americans would be comfortable purchasing a home with no direct human contact.
Yeah.
So how would you even begin to go see the house? And then who are you asking? I mean, you want questions, and you can read people.
Yes.
You can tell if he's lying about, right? You can tell if he's lying about the AC working. You hope you can.
Yeah.
Whereas with AI or anything else, you don't know.
Yeah, well, I think that statistic is indicative of people's reliance and over-reliance to a certain extent on AI. AI can guide you, can say, what's the process to buying a home? It can kind of lay out a path for you, but that human to human, I would say that buying and selling homes shelter is a very human thing. Mm-hmm. And if you take the human out of it and you're relying on a machine to tell you how to do it and what feels right and what looks right, you're missing a big component of it. And you're taking out the human experience. My 15 years of experience walking into a home with a buyer is going to inform them and instruct them more than a machine at this point, right? That AI is going to catch up, and every day AI gets better, but AI can't tell me whether when I cross the street, why are those homes less expensive than this? It can do it algorithmically. It can tell you what a home is worth, but then when I go in, I'm like, well, this one actually isn't worth what that one is because that one's kitchen isn't as nice as this. The exterior isn't as nice. The roof is old. AI has limitations to its ability to gather that like on the ground view, right? So
I had a friend that was shopping for an apartment in New York. And having not lived in New York very long, they used AI to be like, this is what I'm looking for in a neighborhood. And the results were so bizarre. And that's another thing where it's kind of like user beware. You really can't take what AI is saying for granted.
Yeah, well, what AI is built to be agreeable. Right. And that's what, that's like every time you ask ChatGPT or Gemini or one of these things, or it gives you an answer, and you go, yeah, well, what about this? And you challenge it. It's always like, I'm glad you asked. It is designed to give you a positive response and to be agreeable. AI is rewarded when it gives you something that it thinks you want. Sure. And so it can produce that false positive. So when using AI, you must challenge it. Its first answer is often not the answer.
So let's talk about the positives then. If you're saying it's built to be positive and give us what we want, what are the positive takeaways of using AI to purchase?
Yeah, it is a massively quick data aggregator. You can go in and get quick answers like, hey, what is step one to buy? Lay out the top 10 steps to buying a home. It's going to lay it out. It's going to be pretty darn good on that superficial level. Give me a checklist, right? It can put it together and you can go down that checklist. Okay, talk to an agent, talk to a lender, check. So it can really give you good, quick information, and it can run reasonable comps. It can give you a general idea of valuation, but you really need to dig deeper. So access to information, what school district is this in, that sort of stuff. But even that needs to be challenged. I've seen that on my own when I'm in the field and I'm with a client. I'm like, what school district is 123 Main Street in? And I'll look at it and I'll go, I don't know if that's quite right. And so I will challenge it again, and it'll go, actually, I'm glad you challenged me on that. I was wrong, right? So you have to be careful with it, but as a quick data aggregation tool set, AI is really good.
What about like what Ty's friend did and said, I am looking for a 2,400 square foot home with 3 bedrooms with this school district. Give me a neighborhood. Is that a good way to use that tool to help you know where to search if you're new in town?
Yeah, I think it is valuable as that first layer, right? And then you take that and then you plug it into either the hyper-specific systems like Zillow, Realtor.com, or you take that and you call a real estate agent.
I was going to say you call a person.
Yes, and you go, hey, I'm moving to Phoenix. I'm moving to New York. These were the questions I asked my AI. This is what it said. What do you think? Right? A good first layer.
What about using it for kind of like crunching numbers quickly, as far as like, hey, this is what I can afford? Can it be helpful to maybe put those numbers in there to figure out like what they can afford? Because we talked earlier about, when we had you on, about sometimes people overexert themselves a little too much when it comes to what they can potentially on paper afford, and then after all the expenses, then it gets a little bit more difficult.
Yep.
Could that be a useful tool?
Yeah, I think so. Especially if you dig deeply on it, you plug in your financial information, you say, what can I really afford on a monthly payment basis? Now, again, first layer, you want to take that and you want to go to a lender and you want to make sure that you are applying for a loan, because they're looking at your debt to income ratio, they're looking at your finances, your credit. They are looking at everything to spit out a true number of what a bank will qualify you for. ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, they are not qualifying you. They can give you that good first layer of information, but going and applying for a loan is going to give you that full all-in knowledge, because you're going to couple what you think you can afford with an interest rate, which is going to give you a monthly payment.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that. I still feel like meeting with an actual agent who's going to take you into that house and walk around with you.
And that knows the neighborhood.
Yeah, you know the neighborhood. You might know the listing agent.
Yeah.
You might know the people.
Yeah.
You maybe you've sold that house before.
Yeah.
Maybe it's been up multiple times because there are issues with flooding. And I mean, I think those are things that, but also when you walk into that house, you can talk about it with someone.
Yes.
You get the feeling of, well, this is going to work. This isn't going to work. We don't like this space here. And I just don't think you can get that with AI.
Well, you're speaking to institutional knowledge, right? And you look at Ford Motor Company just rehired hundreds of engineers because AI didn't have that sort of institutional knowledge.
We've got to take a quick break. How can folks find you?
Sure. Thank you very much. They can visit me on my website, halpernresidential.com, or call me at 602-595-4200.
We'll have you back soon.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks,
you.
Trevor.
Thank you.
Really quickly before we head to break.
What year was it? Here is your daily question on this Friday. Voting Rights Act signed into law. These are getting harder
They're
and
harder and they're not as fun.
All right, welcome back, you guys, here on Fox 10 Talks. We're going to keep things rolling here at 11 a.m. This is your question of the day. The Voting Rights Act was signed into law. So what year was it? We've got some answers already in the chat. We've got some mid-60s, a 54. Some people are calling out other people for cheating. I like that.
Oh,
Don't cheat.
thank you. No cheating. No cheating.
All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the answer. 1965. All right, nice work. Thomas Brown got it right there in the chat.
Good job,
Thumbs
Thomas.
up to you.
Yeah, you get the prize. Okay, we work a very early morning shift.
We do indeed.
What time do you get up?
Well, I get up a lot later than you do.
I get up a little earlier than you
Yeah.
do, but I also like to have my coffee. I get on my treadmill. Sleep is not easy.
No.
Neither one of us have children, but it's not easy to force yourself to go to sleep at 6 p.m., 7 p.m. Now imagine if you have children, if you have
Yes.
other things happening in life, and sometimes you're tired.
So take a look at this. This is an anchor in Good Morning Memphis. Her name is Dominique Dillon. She accidentally fell asleep while anchoring the news. Take a look at this video.
Mrs. Hyde-Smith, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Johnson.
There she is. Poor Dominique.
She does look like an angel, though.
She does.
Like
she
when you
sleeps very gracefully, doesn't she?
When you pose the newborns in those adorable little photos.
Oh my gosh. So guess who is joining us via Zoom here this morning? She's awake.
Hi.
Dominique, good morning.
Oh my goodness. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Good for you. You're getting a lot of attention for this. Talk a little bit about the night before, because that is truly very important in this story.
Yeah, well, obviously, I would love to go to bed at 6 o'clock, 7 p.m. each night, but that's not the case all the time when I have two kids. I have a 2-year-old and an 8-month-old. So the night before, around 8 o'clock, my toddler, she went to sleep no problem. She stays up all day running around, no naps. So she's ready to go to sleep around 8 o'clock or even earlier. But my newborn, she was not giving me an easy time putting her to sleep because she was teething. So I'm giving her teething medicine. I'm trying to console her. I'm rocking her. Honestly, nothing is working. And I'm looking at the clock, and the next thing I know, it's 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock before I can finally go to bed.
And that's the worst. When you're looking at the clock and you're like, okay, if I fall asleep now, I'll get 4 hours. Okay, if I fall asleep now, I'm going to get 3 hours.
It's the worst.
And it does. It keeps you awake even longer. I have to ask then, what's the situation? Because the reporter didn't toss back to you and say your name. Because sometimes the reporters do, and you know if the live shot's over. Sometimes they kind of leave it blank so you can ask a question. Was your co-anchor next to you? Did you have a floor director? Was anyone in your ear saying, hey girl, come on, wake up, you're up?
I mean, as far as I know, I didn't hear them in my ear, but as you can see from the video, my eyes are closed, I'm asleep. I did have a co-anchor next to me, and all throughout the morning, he was the one doing the toss back with the field reporter. So he saw me, but he was going to let me rest because throughout the morning, she would toss back to him, and then they would have a little banter about the story, and then he would toss to weather, and then he was just going to take over the tease and let it go into the break. But then I popped up on the screen, and he was stunned. And yeah, and the director, the producer, they told me after, they thought I was looking down at my tablet. They didn't realize I was asleep in less than 1 minute.
You could have played that off and been like, yep, sure, what? Just studying up for the next segment here. Look at me.
How deep in...
caught me off guard.
Yeah.
How asleep were you really? I mean, like, could you...
My meteorologist whispered my name from across the room, and when she said Dom, that's when you see my eyes flutter open as the shot is changing to the sky cam over the city. And at that point, I was just like, yeah.
Well, I was going to ask you, what was kind of the reaction? Because, people were, they feel for you. They're like, listen, it's a hard, people know this is a hard job. Being a mother, I can only imagine how difficult that is, especially when you've got someone at home that's teething and not getting good rest. What were some of the reactions from folks after this kind of went viral?
I was really surprised because as soon as that happened, within 5 minutes, our executive producer came into the newsroom and was like, you're going viral, Dominique. And it was just like, I didn't want to look at the comments because I just knew people were going to be hard on me and say, that's so unprofessional. There's no excuse for something like that to happen. But instead, I was met with grace and empathy. And so many people in Memphis and the surrounding area, they were so kind to me and understanding and sharing their stories with me about how difficult it is to, one, have a full-time job as a parent and show up for their children each day, but then also show up for work as well and give their best efforts.
Yeah, and we're all getting a little chuckle out of it, as you did too, in the follow-up segments. But I think that's the biggest takeaway of this, is that people realize how much everybody does, how difficult it can be, and that we all should support each other.
Yeah, and that's why I'm just happy. I mean, initially, this was the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to me, but I'm happy that, for the most part, people online and throughout Memphis and across the country, they've been able to come together and we can all relate to this happening. Most people just don't have a camera on them when they
That is very
Correct.
true.
Amen. Yeah.
I split my pants live on TV.
Oh, you did. I was there.
No way.
Yeah. So, I mean, bad things happen to good people on TV all the time.
Take it and run. Take it and run. Well, we hope you get some rest this weekend.
Yes.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, that's the plan.
It was a pleasure
Yeah,
talking to you.
Lovely. Thank you so much.
Great speaking to you guys, too.
Oh, gosh.
All right.
Go nap. Go nap. It is.
Bye.
These hours are tough.
They are.
They're
yeah.
tough, man. I have to tell you. So, okay, you want to move on to our next topic?
Let's do it. Yeah, this is kind of a big one. This is a big popular area.
We're going to go to Slide Rock, Sedona. I have never slid down the rock. Have you?
I haven't either. I've only seen, watched people do it.
Yes.
I've never slid myself.
Well, guess what? You're not going to slide anytime soon, unfortunately. Good morning.
We have
Yes?
Michelle and Sam here from Arizona State Parks, and we're talking about Slide Rock. Michelle, let me start with you. Kind of give us a background of what's going on with Slide Rock right now.
Yeah, so you guys reported a lot on the pocket fire that happened earlier this summer, and now what's left is the burn scar from that fire, and it has really increased the risk for flash flooding because everything, all the vegetation, everything got burned away. Now when it rains, and we're having a really, really moist monsoon season up in Sedona, so now when it rains, all of that water can come down. The Oak Creek is just really full of ash and debris, and then anytime it rains, there's just a really big increase for the risk of flash flooding. So the Forest Service is actually the one that decided to close Oak Creek until the end of September.
We've seen the videos of all that ash in the creek, and we talked to some influencers who live up in the northern portion of the state who were talking a little bit about that. And then the flash flooding can be very, very dangerous. This is not an easy decision because it's such a popular spot.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah, this is our busiest time of year. We just came out of being closed for the fire itself for close to a month. We were open for a few days, and then flash floods happened, and the Forest Service made their decision to close the creek area. So it's definitely been an interesting summer for us.
Now, you mentioned the creek area, so can you even go access the creek to even go look at it? Everything's closed around the area.
Yeah, the Forest Service order extends 100 feet away from the edge of the creek, so they don't want anyone even near the water. The floods can be really fast and really, really dangerous. So for Slide Rock, what that looks like is our staircase down to the swim area is blocked off. So visitors can still come and picnic. We have some history to talk about the Penley Homestead. So we do open houses on Saturdays and Sundays where folks can come learn about the homestead history and the apple orchards. But yeah, we have a short trail as well.
So speaking of trails, we were talking about that West Fork Trail, which is not far up from the Slide Rock area, and that's all along the creek. So are other areas, other trails also affected by what is happening?
Yes, a lot of the day use areas in Oak Creek Canyon are closed right now. So West Fork was pretty heavily impacted by the fire.
Bummer.
There's a lot of concern about debris flows in the creek there. So they're closed. A lot of the other water access points, like Halfway Picnic Area, Grasshopper Point, those are all closed as well.
Sam, how long have you worked up in that area?
Yeah, I started in April of 2022, so it's my 5th summer at Slide Rock.
So you can kind of attest to, like, when we have a rain shower, it can be a little drizzle or it can be a deluge, and then we lead into some of those flooding issues, right?
Yeah, and actually the first flash flood I ever saw at Slide Rock, it wasn't actually raining at the park.
Really?
Because it can be raining upstream, it can be raining up north in Flagstaff, and if it's raining heavy enough and it washes down, it doesn't even have to be raining where you are for the flash flood to happen.
That's not a chance you can take, and we've had in northern Arizona a couple years ago where we had an entire family that was hiking, not necessarily in the Sedona area, but there was a flash flood warning. They didn't get that warning because there's no cell service, and it just, the water comes on so quickly, you can't risk the public safety.
Right. Like, that's the entire point of this, is it's about public safety. You know, it's a bummer for us to not be able to allow people to use the park during the busiest season. We know people really want to get in the water, but we do not want to risk it. And because it can happen, you know, miles north, you don't know it's happening. We just don't want people at risk.
Sam did mention some of the other things that you can do. Still go picnic near there and go on some of the other hiking trails. Is there a website where folks can kind of find some of those alternate activities to do up there?
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to visit azstateparks.com, we have a page for Slide Rock. You can see what kind of wildlife you might see when you visit the park. You can see which trails are available and open. You can see the picnic areas and really get an idea for some of the events too. Sam's also doing a really cool apple packing shed event where you can tour and learn more about the orchard.
Every Saturday and Sunday from 10 to noon. Starting this weekend. So we have this old machine that sorts and polishes apples, and we demonstrate it.
Fun.
Yeah, it's really neat history at the homestead there.
You have a fun job, Sam.
I do, yeah. I'm very lucky.
Yeah, it is. Sedona is so magical.
I really love it.
Okay, wow. azstateparks.com. People can log on, find out what to do in Sedona, and of course statewide as well, because we have so many beautiful parks here. Thank you.
Well,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Have a good weekend.
We can't wait to
You too.
reopen. Hopefully we can have you back when you reopen to talk about all the fun fall stuff.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We have 10 seconds left. This is what we're watching for Monday. The trial begins for the man accused of the 1996 killing of Tupac Shakur. So we'll be watching that.
All right, there it is, downtown Phoenix. We have a few more days of the 110s or the 110 pluses, and then we're getting down into the 10-somethings.
That's something to celebrate.
I think so. 105, I am totally fine with 105. It's 115 I don't really like. By the way, Dean's camera, I looked at this picture and I said to myself, now, clearly that's a state capitol. But I don't recognize it, and it was driving me crazy. And then I looked at my text from Dean, and it's not even a state capitol. It's a local county courthouse. Might be the fanciest one in America.
Wow, that's pretty nice.
In Terre Haute, Indiana. So there you go. I'm sure that's one of the things they're known for. They're also known for being the hometown of one Larry Bird, NBA legend. And one
Played
other
on my
thing.
Celtics.
Yes.
You know.
Oh yeah, I know. Do you still have a lot of love for the Celtics, don't you?
Yeah, I
right?
do. And it's so odd. It's going to make zero sense given that I'm from Buffalo.
Right.
That my dad actually would root for Boston teams.
Right. Hey, but you know what?
Besides New England.
Yeah.
Besides the Patriots.
The Celtics were pretty easy to root for back in the day, in the Larry Bird days.
And the Bruins were pretty good, too.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so anyway, thank you for spending a little more time with us here on our streaming show, Fox 10 Talks. I'm going to slide over a little bit here. But they just released this morning, Des, they had a news conference coming out of Twin Falls, Idaho. And they released a lot more information after that horrific shooting. And they've released some surveillance video. You know, there are cameras everywhere now. Everywhere.
And we had a little bit of that on Fox 10 AZAM this morning. We were only able to dip in for a brief moment, so we want to get you part of that presser so you can learn what happened.
Yeah, so to refresh your memory, it was just the other day, it was a gunman, 24 years old, Chad Williams, who, by the way, had spent time here in Arizona. And we still don't know a motive, and maybe we never will, because
he turned the gun on himself at the end there.
Right. Yeah. But so when you drive into Twin Falls, the freeway's on the north side of the river, and then you go across this big bridge, and there's a big canyon. Immediately there's a stoplight, and that's right where the In-N-Out is, probably the busiest intersection in that whole area. And you'll just see what happened here. We're going to go ahead and roll it for you. Right now you'll hear, I guess it's an AI voice describing along the way what was happening during the shooting.
He reaches the payment window. The gunman shoots the first victim, Ashley Garibay, who later succumbed to her injuries at the hospital. The gunman proceeds in the drive-thru, parking his car. He then shoots the second victim, Christopher Clonch, in his vehicle, who is pronounced dead at the scene. Former Twin Falls police officer and former Idaho State Police trooper, Austin James, runs towards the incident where he encounters the gunmen and is the third victim shot. Mr. James retreats and draws his handgun, preparing to engage the gunmen. Due to his severe injury and blood loss, he is pulled back into his vehicle and given aid before going to the hospital. The gunman returns to the payment window and observes employees rendering aid to Ashley. He fires into the window a second time before his handgun jams, and he returns to his vehicle to retrieve a rifle. Inside the restaurant, an off-duty Idaho State Police trooper assists in evacuating patrons and employees while he searches for the threat. With the rifle, the gunman runs back to the drive-thru and fires at nearby patrons before returning to the payment window for a third time. The off-duty ISP trooper and the gunman exchange fire. The gunman retreats before returning to the payment window for a fourth time, firing inside and striking the fourth victim, a Good Samaritan who is attempting to assist the off-duty trooper and render aid to the victim inside.
And with that,
the gunman proceeds to the food window. Upon seeing no one inside, he moves on.
Yeah. So at that point, then, he kind of flees the scene. You can just tell how chaotic it is. You had an on-site, off-duty officer with his weapon drawn, but he's not quite sure where the guy is.
Mm-hmm.
First render aid, and then second, get after the after the gunman. I mean, it's just chilling to watch, but it does. It shows you in real time what this particular event was like, and it all basically happened. I think when we first heard about it, we assumed it was happening inside the restaurant. He never went in.
Yeah.
It was all at the drive-thru.
Right, and startling to kind of learn these details as they come out, and then to just be thinking of all those people that were sitting. I mean, you're a sitting duck sitting there in the drive-thru line. They're really, I mean, you're in the middle there. There's nowhere for you to go. Just watching that unfold, it was just disturbing.
The poor guy in his car just waiting for his hamburger,
Yeah.
or fries or whatever it is. Okay, one other quick story here. We did want to update you. There is some new information coming in from Spokane. There is the courtroom camera of the man who now has been charged with starting one of the worst wildfires in the history of Washington state. Aaron Farinacci was convicted more than a decade ago in the death of his father here in the Valley. And during his hearing yesterday, the attorney requested a competency evaluation, and the judge actually raised his bond to make sure he's not getting out of jail anytime soon from $1 million to $2 million.
Yeah, and in those new court documents, I mean, confessing to starting that fire is saying that he was planning to do it for a few weeks. So for some time there, he was thinking about this plan, trying to develop what he was going to do, and researched a well-known serial arsonist, we've learned, and assembled a time-delayed device that he ignited then with a cigarette in the grass.
Wow. Okay. Pretty disturbing. You know what we need? We need a dose of a little bit good news, Des, and that is our plan right now, because we have Felicia Thompson with the Girl Scouts and a local Girl Scout, Penelope Ruiz.
We got to get you some good news on Friday here.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, ladies.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
so glad to be here.
So we're here to talk about the Girl Scouts and to ramp up some recruitment, not only for Girl Scouts, but for volunteers as well. So can you just speak to what the organization means, what it's doing for girls in our community?
Absolutely. So back to school time is a great time to join Girl Scouts. We actually refer to it as back to troop because girls are coming back from summer break, from all the adventures they did over the summer, and they're getting back into activities. And so we want all girls to be Girl Scouts. Any girl who wants to be, we want them to be, because we're really building girls of courage, confidence, and character.
Awesome.
So, how long have you been a Girl Scout, Penelope, and what do you like the most about the program?
Well, I've been a Girl Scout since I was a daisy, so for about 8 years now. And I'd have to say my favorite part about being a Girl Scout is all the friends I've made, because I've made a lot of lifelong friendships and just got to experience a lot of fun, new things.
Yeah. I wonder, Felicia, if you could tell us a little bit more about the... Here's the knowledge that I'm sure 100% of the population has. You guys have great cookies. Right?
Yes.
We all look forward to Girl Scout cookies. Yes. It's a thing in every office in America. We're walking up to our favorite store, and there you guys are. But take us beyond that. Tell us a little bit more of the backstory of the Girl Scouts, how it began, and how it's evolved over time.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for that question, because we are definitely more than cookies. We love the cookie, but we are more than cookies. And actually, cookie season is about 6 weeks in a Girl Scouts year-long experience. So we've been around for 114 years, so 114 years of experience serving girls, working with girls, really building leaders, developing them, giving them opportunities to grow and learn. And really, Juliet Gordon-Lowe was our founder, and she was famous for saying whenever there was a decision to be made or what to do next, athletics, ask the girls. And that's what we do. So I think that's why we've been around for 114 years, because it's girl-led, and we're asking the girls, what do you want to do? What do you want to learn? And Penelope is a great example of someone who spoke up to say, I want to learn more about media and public speaking, and she's sitting here with us today.
Yeah, that's incredible. And there are 5 key skills that that girls will focus on. What are those skills?
Yes. So for the Cookie program, it's our largest girl-led financial literacy program. So business ethics, money management, really people skills. And so girls are learning all these things during the Cookie program. But outside of that, they're just building confidence. And I think that's what we want. We like to say that before she's a teacher, a leader, educator, and news anchor, she's a Girl Scout. And so this is where she's building the skills right now.
That's so cool. What is your favorite part about being a Girl Scout, or maybe the favorite, your most favorite thing that you've learned being part of this group?
Well, I think my favorite thing to learn about Girl Scouts is that there's always a place for every girl. And for me, I wanted to improve my skills on public speaking, and Girl Scouts really helped me do that. And whether you like to do STEM projects or camping, stuff like that, I think there's always a place for every girl.
Yeah, the exposure. Do you think you would have experienced some of those things like STEM or gone camping maybe if it wasn't for the Girl Scouts?
Yeah, I actually was my first time going camping. When I did Girl Scouts, I did overnight camp, and I think that was a fun experience for me, kind of getting out of my comfort zone, going outdoors. So yeah, I think there's a lot of new things that Girl Scouts learn.
Yeah, that's exciting.
It's so great. Well, I want to find out a little bit more about your story. And are you going to be taking our jobs in another, 15 years, Des? I mean,
I
that
think
kind of a thing. Can you stick around through the break?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we have the mystery camp. In fact, we're going to let you guys be contestants to this morning in the mystery camp.
We throw up a camera. We don't know where it's from, and we have to guess. You can guess what state it's in. If you think you know what city, hey, that works too. But get your guesses in the chat as well.
Well, we asked Penelope and Felicia to stick around, be contestants on today's version of the Mystery Cam. I don't know. Do you guys have any guesses yet? Jump right in.
Yeah, we should be polite. Let our guests go first.
Correct.
So we can get some ideas.
Do you have any idea?
I was trying to look at the trees to see if that was a clue.
Hold on one second.
Oh,
I got to get your mic open. Say it again.
I was looking at the trees to see if that was a clue. But
Yeah.
It doesn't look like Arizona, right? So maybe.
Yeah, lots of green.
Yeah, maybe.
I know, right? It's almost
I've never been
too
to
green
Wisconsin,
for us.
Yeah.
Oh, now hold on, though. There is one thing. Way out. This is how you have to noodle this around, you guys. Look way over to the right, and there's some big city off in the horizon. So it's some sort of a suburb of. See it way over there?
Oh, yeah. Oh, good eyes,
Okay.
Ron.
So I am thinking, I'm competitive, Des.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
So, any guesses?
Well, let me go through the chat. Indiana from Thomas. Oshkosh from Thomas.
Okay.
Let's see. Louis thinks it's Oklahoma. Michigan, Outlaw Dynamo.
Okay.
And we have a guess of the Bronx
All right.
from Thomas Favela.
Okay, ladies,
Yeah.
anything? Anything at all?
I'm going to go,
Nothing?
I'll go
Okay,
Indiana.
hold on. Here it is.
That's my
Indiana.
guess.
Okay,
Yeah,
and
no reason why.
It's either I'm thinking Georgia or Texas. Georgia or
Or in
Texas.
Arkansas, maybe.
I think I'm. What was
Arkansas?
that?
Pine Bluff, Arkansas. I don't know.
Okay, there you
Oh,
go.
okay. All right, there we go.
So I guess I'm gonna go Texas. All right, Des.
Texas?
You're the only
All right.
one at this table who knows the answers.
Okay.
Here we go.
Here it is, the big reveal. It is Southfield, Michigan.
No, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then that's got to be Detroit.
We're all wrong.
Thank you for your Michigan guess, Outlaw Dynamo.
Yeah.
Okay,
awesome.
everybody, we
Thanks,
are
guys.
just kind of wrapping up our conversation here with our guests from Girl Scouts. So before we hit the break, Penelope, why did you decide and when did you decide that you wanted to really enhance your public speaking skills?
Well, I remember I wanted to be in media
Yes?
when I was around Brownie age, so I was around 8, 7.
Yeah.
And I decided that it would be good to get in touch with Felicia. And after that, she kind of put me on a lot of news stations talking. I got to speak at a lot of events.
Yeah.
And I think that was really fun for me. And without Girl Scouts, I wouldn't be doing it. So I think it was a great experience for me.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So how can we get involved? Our girls can start and become a Girl Scout as young as what age? And then, so if you can touch base on that. And then volunteers too. You're always looking for people to help out.
Yes, so really great questions. Girls can start being Girl Scouts as early as kindergarten all the way through 12th grade. It's really important to know that we have Girl Scouts in high school who are doing amazing things. They're earning their awards. And so if you see girls that look a little older, they are Girl Scouts at those cookie booths. And I think to get involved, we are always looking for volunteers. Volunteers are the lifeblood of our organization.
And men
so-
and women.
Men and women, yes, thank you. Dads, uncles, it's really important that the girls still see that male role model in their lives. And so there's a really cool shirt that says man enough to be a Girl Scout. And I love when I see dads wear that. So yeah, we're always looking for volunteers. And so it's really incredible because sometimes someone might join as a volunteer when their child's in elementary school and they're still with us
And they
20 years
stay
later.
on.
Yeah, so they love serving. So we're looking for volunteers and just go to our website and learn more.
which is?
Yes, it's girlscoutsaz.org.
Okay, that's so great.
Perfect. Thank you so
Thanks
much for coming
you
in
guys.
today, ladies.
Thanks for
Pleasure
having
meeting
us.
you.
Hang
I
tight
think you're
with
well
us.
on your way. I think we're
Yes,
going to
you
see
are.
you. I think we're going
Good.
to see you take our job one day.
Stay in touch. We'll introduce you to the boss next time. How about that? Hey, Glenn Keane was rescued off of a mountain a few days ago.
I know.
He is, of course, part of a famous The Keane family of animators.
Yeah, we all go. That name sounds familiar.
Yeah, right?
Sure enough.
And so today he had a chance to say thank you to those who rescued him. It's really cool. All right.
All right, we thought that had sound, but it didn't. You know, things happen. So this was incredible. So he did not come empty-handed today when he went to meet the first responders who rescued him.
Yeah.
He did what he does best, right? You've got an Oscar-winning illustrator. So he created this picture for, Phoenix and Tempe Fire and Rescue.
Yeah, which
so cool.
It's all framed and it's dedicated to them. And there he is reliving that moment where he talked about it at the event.
Yeah.
Hey,
awesome.
One other quick thing we're going to cover here is what's happening with our license plates, Des. You guys had the greatest interview this morning because watch this.
We got our own Fox 10 Diamondbacks plate. That's just one of them, right?
Absolutely. So the Diamondbacks plate, if you love sports, you can support the Diamondbacks or the Cardinals who played last night. You've got the NAU plate or U of A, ASU plates, college plates if that's your university, or if your kids go there. My boys just graduated from NAU, so that's a great plate for us. If you love golf, and I know Arizona's a great golf state, get the golf plate that supports the Southwest PGA, so that's a fantastic option if you like the colorful sunsets.
Oh, that's amazing. And there's a newer one this year, this all black. Tell us who that one supports and why they went with that one, because it kind of doesn't have, an identifying feature on it.
Absolutely. So on the right side of the vehicle, you'll notice the all-black plate, which is absolutely going gangbusters right now. There's over 20,000 in less than a year already out in the street because people want that very simple black license plate with no extra design. Next to it, you'll notice the Maverick plate, which is kind of the reverse. It's mostly white. And then next to it is the black with the red. And I think what people are choosing is if you've got a white vehicle, you want the white plate to kind of keep it all one color. If you've got a black vehicle, you want the black plate to keep it all that. And then the red, or there's the Empower plate, which I did not bring today, but that's black with either blue or in this case red if your vehicle is either blue or red.
Well, and I really like this one too. This is black, but there is, the Route 66 here representation. What does this support?
So that helps keep the Route 66 portion in Arizona kind of going. That's a charitable organization up in Kingman, And what I like about that is it's actually celebrating its 100th year this year. So 1926 to 2026. And then right below it is the Arizona Highways magazine, which supports kind of tourism in Arizona and all that. And the Arizona Highway magazine is actually a year older than Route 66. Last year was its 100th year anniversary.
How cool is that, right? These specialty plates have been able to raise more than $16 million for charities statewide. Just incredible.
And he did say veterans are the number one most popular.
Yep.
I love the look of a lot of those. And if you're NAU, ASU, U of A, you can support your school. It's a really cool program.
Really, really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, our next guest, we're so excited to have her in studio. Ida Rodriguez, comedian, actress. You're here in town for a show, but you were mentioning you collect license plates.
I do. I love them. I have them all.
What got you into license plate collecting of all things?
Because I moved from one state to another. So I have a Florida one, and then I have a couple of California ones. But I don't know what to do with them, so I just started collecting them.
Okay. Yeah, make it like a cool little collage.
Because you can't throw them away.
Yeah.
Because somebody robs a bank and puts it on the car.
Yeah, that's true.
You got to prove your alibi.
Yeah. So. This license plate proves I was not in Ohio at the time of the crime.
I have them all at home. They're all in my little storage.
That's cool. So great. Do you like driving? I mean, is road trips a thing for you?
I'm a mom. Yeah. So I had an aversion to driving. I was driving people around all day long, driving to track meets for, participation ribbons. Yeah. So it gets a little old after a while. But now I'm enjoying driving again because now they are driving themselves. So.
That's nice. And did you mention your daughter was a Girl Scout?
She was a Girl Scout when she was a little girl,
Were you out there helping to sell the Girl Scout cookies in front of the Piggly Wiggly or whatever you guys have over there in LA?
I use my email list because I'm very competitive.
Oh, that's smart.
We're winning. We're going to sell the most. I guilted all my friends into buying those cookies. And I still buy so many comedians have children that are Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, but I buy a lot of cookies from the Girl Scouts.
I give them. Oh, that's good. Well, you've got the platform to sell. I mean, you've got a huge following on your socials. You're in town for a show. If no one has ever experienced your comedy and your style, what is it? What are we talking about here in some of your shows?
You know what? The greatest compliment that I get from people is that they say, you are exactly who you are on stage. I think I'm tired of the division. I'm tired of all the tension all the time. So I want my shows to be a place where people can come and have a good time and escape for a little bit and put the focus on me. Laugh at me. Well, you can go laugh at yourselves later. But I just talk about my experience as a woman, as a mother, as a person, and a lot of observational humor. And we have a good time. People that come see me usually come back. And that's the greatest compliment.
Yes, it is. Word of mouth, that kind of a thing. So I wonder if you're, like Nate Bargatze was in town just the other day. I don't know why, but when he comes to Phoenix, that's where he wants to like film his next special, or whatever. But after the show's over, I'm sure he and I'm sure you kind of think back and say, oh, that's what connected with the audience. What connects?
Human experiences. I have a joke about my grandmother. Everybody loves their most people love their grandmother. I was corrected at a show. I never met anybody until that day as someone who didn't like their grandmother. But just relatable experiences. At the end of the day, when we talk about the human experience, that's where we all connect. And so much tries to get away from that. We all, if we're parents, we are all exhausted, especially moms. We all love our grandmothers. Like those kinds of things always connect when I have jokes about family experiences. It doesn't matter where your family's from, what your family looks like, what I'm talking about when I say certain things. And those jokes always, and my woman material, my dating material is always.
Oh my gosh, I wish we had time for some of that.
Because you're Puerto Rican, right?
Yeah.
So you bring your culture into your shows too, which is always great, right?
Yeah,
you got to bring a piece of yourself in.
Always.
Well, we better get the info out there because people are going to want to see your
Tempe
show.
Improv.
Tonight. Right?
2 shows tonight, 2 tomorrow. We had one last night, and it was great. And it was just awesome to see such a variety of different people show up for me. And all want to have a good time. We had so much fun yesterday. The Tempe Improv is such a great venue, and it's a great place to go eat dinners. There was a lot of girls' nights out, a lot of date nights, a lot of grown-ups.
Oh, well, I'm sure you're going to get a big crowd tonight, that's for sure. We got to wrap up, but thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Have a great time.
You too.
Great job.
Thank you.